Hello, it's Mike Rasmussen. It is CPA Straight Talk for Small Business. It is July 30. Wow, it is just, we are whipping through here. Let me get this camera down a little bit. We are just whipping through for July. So as usual, I just want to jump right in and get you up to speed. There has been no movement on the, well, a lot of meetings, but no official guidance or movement on the $600 a week federal unemployment pandemic that's been out there and under the CARES Act. So, but I'm going to walk you through. I went through kind of in some old archives to see what's still, what is out there right now that's going to affect you. Again, what I talked about yesterday was I anticipate something being done by tomorrow night so that the unemployment is either extended, modified, something, which would then mean if those amounts are reduced from or extended or whatever they're going to be, that means that again the labor is going to be I would anticipate a little bit more available going forward. Okay, because what I anticipate is that there we go, is that as unemployed individuals, right around 20 million, are going to start, their $600 goes away or gets reduced. People are going to be knocking on people's doors, employers' doors, to go get rehired. Okay, let's jump back into, let's show you my screen. Let me just walk in through. So as always, I want to go through the first part of this. And again, the reason why I do this is to make sure that there's nothing new in as far as guidance goes in the PPP program. So here is, as I go in here to the SBA.gov, as we've done this, I want to go specifically to if there's been any frequently asked questions update and how that works. As you go in, you download the PDF, and for anybody watching this for a period of time, this will come up. And then you can just go right to the bottom. This has just been a rolling list. And you can see the last time there's been some serious guidance, it's been June 25th of 2020. So, and again, I'm checking a couple computers right now just to make sure there's nothing that has been out there. Let me just check this real quick and make sure. Okay. So anyway, so let me get back here. Then I want to make sure that the EIDL loan is still out there and kicking. And what that means is that we've got PPP until August 8th, and then this is the economic injury disaster loan. Again, other than the advance, this is the actual loan for 30 years, 3.75%. Payments start in a year. So why would you do this? You have basically you're kind of setting this aside. Done your business plan. This is about the cheapest way to go get monies to kind of hold it in a holding tank. Okay. So this EIDL, what a lot of owners, restaurant owners are doing is that I applied for it. I'm letting it sit there. There's no payments for a year. And what I'm doing is I'm watching how how the pandemic is folding out, meaning, are we getting a vaccine? And so that's the other, what I want to do. Here's the map, or here is the big picture. And again, there is nothing coming down lately. Here's all the masks that were required in the country. So as you can still see, there is major face coverings that are still in effect. And that did say it was July 22nd, so we didn't see anything new. But here, let's change that there. The big picture, more than 30 states. So anyway, so why we go through this process and we look is if you've done your business plan, and EIDL is a perfect situation for you to set aside monies in case things either free up, you need to expand quickly, which would mean you need to go, the vaccine is out, and in 2 weeks, I mean, think about this, the vaccine is out in the fall here, coming up soon, and you need to jump up inventory, jump up your hiring quickly because people are getting their vaccines. And that is something that you might just in reserve have that EIDL set aside so you can instantly get your suppliers, get your business back up and going. And that's a major reason why you would just want to set that EIDL now set aside for your business. Okay, so that assumes that you're staying on top of the pandemic and what's going on in your state. You're watching your numbers. You're keeping a diary. So to have that money set aside for you to use it is incredibly comforting to know. Okay, and so that is still out there. And that's one of the reasons why I want to go. A couple other things I just wanted to say that I'm in, again, scouring the internet. Here's where the things stand. Basically, there was a semi-vote where the federal plan ends tomorrow. The Senate proposed a stimulus package that would reduce the unemployment. We talked about that for assisting 70% of a person's wage. Well, I can tell you right now that didn't go anymore. So the GOP, they proposed it, and here was the proposal to reduce the 600, called the FPUC, to 200 until October 5th, according to the bill. From that point, the assistance amount would combine with the state's unemployment offerings to equal 70% of an individual's previous wages. Well, I can tell you right now that the two sides are at each other. This is not resolved. So we will see. And here it does say, White House press briefing yesterday, when asked what would happen if there's no deal completely, we are going to take care of the people. So we will see what happens. Okay. And then I just want to also brief you on, there is this tool called the PPP forgiveness tool that if you have a PPP loan right now, and you can see right here, one of the things I'm coming back to this is there are areas where additional guidance from the Treasury and SBA is needed to calculate. Borrowers can still get their application started while awaiting additional guidance. This little, as long as this is up here, that it means that the final rules are not out. That's why I also go back here just to alert you and go, more than likely your lender is just kind of in a holding pattern right now, because everybody right now is waiting for additional guidance right here. So when this changes from 625 to a new place, and let me again, I've got two computers going, so I'm going to check the other side over here and see. I've got another one going on this side and see if there's anything new over there. And there's not. I mean, really what's happening is there's a couple other sites that I'm checking to make sure that there's nothing that has popped up as far as additional guidance. I am convinced that every day that goes by with this 625, that there will be a big announcement for that. But I have a feeling that we're not going to see anything until August 8th. What do you do in the interim? What have we always been talking about? You basically are keeping a diary. You're checking the show here to be able to go, what is out there that impacts me? You're looking at, how am I affected? Here's just a real simple little site. AXIOS is just probably the most easiest summary of what's going on. And so I have it on video, so that if I have to go back and prove, here's what was going on at certain dates. Okay. All right. Then I also want to let you know that if the impact payments do get approved, if something is well, obviously it's there right now. It's being considered in the HEROES Act. This is where you would go. It's at the IRS.gov, Corona Tax Relief Economic Impact Payments. So you can see it right here. You check your payment status. Now, how do you get ready for that? If you have not filed your 2019 tax return, or 18, either or, and you don't have your direct deposit information with the government, make sure that you get one or both of those filed, especially if you have a refund, because that's how these impact payments are distributed. So when you go here to check on your status, which is very simple to do, you're either going to get a mail check, send us a debit card, or you'll be able to check when it's going to hit your bank account. Okay. Now, we have also heard this: non-filers enter your payment if you're here. When you've done, one thing for you to know, in as non-filer, enter your payment info here. If you are let's just say newly married. So let's say someone was a non-filer from 2000, before 2019, and in 19, the non-filer entered information into the system, but then also was technically married in 19. So what was the kind of guided was go ahead and do your non-filer, but also if that person was included in a joint return in 2019, it's being kicked out. It's being kicked out of the system. So what encourages to do is if you're in 2019 and you're married, even though you haven't filed in the past, only file married filing joint or single if you haven't filed, but especially if you were married in 2019, once. Don't be doing it twice, but once, because the IRS is basically, their systems just aren't sophisticated enough to catch a non-filer entered here and if you were joint, okay? And even though saying you're married, filing jointly, and together your income is less than 24, you're not required of federal. I see all the rules there, but again, and together your income is less than 24,000. But so that means if your income was more than 24,400, and one of the spouses that has always been filing single now is filing, now you're talking about this, and what happens is the data is getting conflicted, and the married filing joint return by the spouse that's always been filing before being married is getting kicked out, which means it's not getting approved, which is not good. Okay, here it is. Check your pay and provide direct deposit information. Get my payment. So again, there is a, and then a few. One of the things I want to look at, there was a couple bills that we followed a bit back. There was, and remember how bills go. Here was one that basically the legislation to help lenders, PPP loaners, easily determine the loan forgiveness amounts. In other words, that's why I introduced the Calculate Loan Forgiveness Act. Now, there has not been any movement. So then I went to, again, what do I like to do? Calculate the PPP Forgiveness Act of 2020. So again, what's it doing? Nothing. So it was introduced by the Congress, by her, and on 7/2 of 20, and basically at this point there's been nothing going on. Okay, which means this tool is not endorsed by through this in the Senate. So I'm watching this, and when this goes through, and in this bill we select this company to do it, that's when I am going to, well, not only give you notice, but I'm gonna let you know, okay, here is the tool. Because when you calculate your loan forgiveness, with any luck at all, you're gonna have all current information, okay? Then I also, here's the other one that's in, that was in, which is called the Paycheck Protect Small Business Forgiveness Act. And this is for, what was this for? This was for loans, PPP loans that were under $150,000 to be automatically forgiven, okay? No, obviously when I jump in here and I see here's an action, but the action was just to introduce the bill, that was it, on 6/30 of 2020. Again, been 30 days. I know Congress and they're all busy, but these just are all out there that could, if any one of them is acted on, they would, it's something that we as small businesses need to, and I keep checking the site over here if there's anything else I can bring up to you quickly, okay? All right, so then I am going to go back to, I'm gonna spend just a few minutes with you and talk to you about the questions. So remember I talked about the questions about going back to your CPA. So I just wanna go back to, here we go, questions. And then I'm gonna end up with some other ones, some additional ones for today that I'd like you to do. Tax delinquent notices. I had a client, so I'm actually filing what are called an offer in compromise. An offer in compromise is a with the government that if you've had past liabilities, past payroll, let's say payroll tax liabilities, and you got behind and you did not pay it and they've just been carried forward, and now you're getting notices. They go through the process of notice and notice. But again, once it gets assigned, and I'll do this in a later specifically, but once it gets assigned to a revenue officer, then it is, they are calling on your door. Okay. So you don't want to let it, you want to communicate. And again, one of the seminars right now for the next 4 weeks, I'm doing 30 hours of watching the IRS tell us about exactly how, for non-filing and just ignoring communication from the IRS. So if you have a letter, get it in the hands of your accountant, your CPA, your tax advisor, so we can act on it. Okay, don't be embarrassed. There's no letter that's just that we can't figure out or somebody can figure out and start communicating with it. It's when you don't communicate that you really get in trouble. Okay. All right. Then the next one was security. We talked about security, and this was, I gave you some questions. What do you have to communicate with your CPA? How secure is your data? And again, I'm hoping that you're taking one or two of these questions and you're actually in a good way, just asking your CPA, where are they as far as security goes? And it's okay to ask. Don't be embarrassed about not asking. And then I put a couple days ago, as your accountant, have firewalls and security at their firm. Not only that, do you have firewalls? So one of the things I found out is there was a service that our local cable provider could actually do at their service center, their center, to as an additional block, if you will. And again, it's not limiting data or whatnot, but it is no doubt it was something else that we could do, that was one that we could be alerted if someone else was trying to hack into their server, which we wanted to know. So in other words, if there was take a city, and if the city was being hacked, which would have been the cable company where we live, if they were being hacked or intruded, they were going to alert the rest of us in case they had a note of exactly, and they were able to identify phishing or what type of, who it might have been, just to let us know. So I thought that was a great service, especially since we get our internet and we actually buy the Wi-Fi cable modem from them. So I'm glad that they were letting us know, okay, this is something that we've been alerted to, watch it if it pops up, if it gets through their system into the modem, and which would appear possibly when we're browsing or something. Okay. We talked a little about emails and cameras. Okay. Right now, what came on yesterday, when you got your camera, which I am on right now, and you can see here, let me just make sure that and you can see there's green lights that are basically the camera's live. So some people are saying when that lights go off, that the camera's off. And I'm just letting you know, hackers don't care whether the little lights are on or off. They don't care if they're on or off. Okay. So they're bypassing that little notice for us, the layperson, to the user. So don't worry about that. If you order on the internet, consider having delivery at a secure location. I am actually looking into that right now. There's a US UPS store right around, and basically they are offering securely to accept and sign for, with permission, packages from Amazon or whoever you order through the internet. Now, I am actually I'm trying to find out how that's going to work. But that's a great way. Remember, we talked about yesterday, hackers are watching and monitoring your computer to intercept expected deliveries or gain access to your purchases. That is going on. Just a couple days ago, I actually had a Dell keyboard delivered, and it was open. And I'm looking at it, and sure enough, there was a mouse inside the packaging that was not included. So now I'm having to go back to Dell, and I did not take a picture of it, which I should have done. And so I've got to go back to Dell now and basically say, here's what is happening. Here's what happened, and try and get my money back or make an attempt. So is there a third-party place that you can actually go and get your deliveries? Okay. I have done just a ton of jumping all over the board. Nothing extremely specific today, but I'm gonna give you one. So here it is, 07/30/2020. That is today. If there was one thing, just one thing that I could that you could do in your business today, and that one thing that I would do is get into your staff and say thanks. I'm gonna put an exclamation. Here's the reason why. I was working till midnight the last couple days on a very big project that I've got to get out as soon as I get done here. And just out of the blue, I get an email from my client that basically said, thanks for all your hard work. And I will tell you, when I got that, it was late last night, and it basically said, you know what, it was great. It made my night. It made me work, pay attention to detail, just made me work a little bit harder. And so if there's one thing, get into your staff in your small business, find some person and just say thanks. Just out of the blue. You sincerely mean, because people are risking their, in this COVID world, you have employees coming to your operation. It is a risk. It's a risk all the way there. Look who just passed away, Herman Cain. Herman Cain, a huge advocate of keeping us all safe. And just a great guy, actually ran for president, just heart of gold. He was an entrepreneur, and it's just one of the things he lived by was just, saying thanks. So you never know who you're going to pick this up from. They don't know where he actually picked up COVID, but he definitely died from COVID. So I just want to say, not just, if there's anybody out there that is any of your employees or somebody that is helping you. If anybody, gosh, I'll take an email, mike@hitechcpa.com. If any of this has been helpful for you over the last 2 or 3, 4 months, just say thanks. It'll go a long way. You'll feel good, and people will appreciate it. So there you go. That's my one big constructive comment for the day, and I hope you have a great day. Mike Rasmussen, CPA Straight Talk for Small Business. And I will see you tomorrow, July 31st, when we are going to find out about what happened and how many blows they went at each other with the Senate and Democrats and Republicans and the House, and more importantly, 20 million unemployed individuals out there. Am I going to get a check next week? And when you start relying on money, remember, it's like oxygen. Cash flow is like oxygen. So we'll see what happens next week. Have a great day, a night.